Traditional software development is done as follows. You go to the user and you spend 3 months with the user trying to understand what their requirements are. When you finish with that process, you get the user to sign in blood that those are the real user requirements. Of course, they never are, but that's what they do. Then an analyst takes those requirements and translates them so a programmer can program them. When the analyst has to translate it, sometimes he can't do exactly what the user wants. And then when the programmer gets it, they can't do exactly what the analyst wants. And so some number of months later, 3, 6, 9 months later, you go back to the user and you say, ta-ta, here's your application. And the user says 2 things, traditionally. First of all, that's not what I asked for. And second, my requirements have changed. With TenFold's technology, we're actually working with the user to sort of get closer and closer to the user requirements. Cost savings are significant because instead of a 9-month or 12-month process of a lot of people, we end up with a very short process, so a month or 2, with very few people working directly with the users. The closer you are to the person that has the real requirements, the better fit you're going to have with what their actual requirements are. And so with our TenFold way, with the way we do business, we're right with the real end user as opposed to being several steps removed. Most people that are doing the programming are throwing it offshore now because the costs are so much less. But you still have to do this first part of getting the user requirements and then getting them in the position that somebody can program. So if you cut out all those steps and you're working directly with the user, then obviously you don't need as big a team. The communication increases. I mean, I've always felt these huge projects that have, 100 or 200 people on them, you could cut, 80% of the people out and the project would even be more productive. So if you're working directly with the user with a very small team, the communication's better and you're actually getting the real user requirements. Gartner Group has now documented that 83% of the IT spend is spent maintaining legacy applications. 83% of the IT spend. So we have a prospect customer whose IT budget is $6.5 billion. That means they're spending $5 billion maintaining legacy applications. If they use our technology, I think that would be reduced to less than $1 billion. So it'd be $4 billion to the bottom line. So that's the real impact of what this technology is. And it's not just TenFold's technology. I mean, this service-oriented architecture is the right way. There's components, you get business components, you assemble them, and it doesn't matter if they're written in J2EE or .NET or what have you. If you have business components and you can assemble them, you're going to be a lot better off. And TenFold technology just happens to write those without code. So on the maintenance end, there's no code to maintain. In J2EE and .NET, there is code to maintain. So you still have the maintenance problem. You may be able to assemble them quicker and save money in the front end. But the back end, you still have to maintain code. And that's the real advantage of TenFold technology.